Hi guys, it's Kandee, and today I'm going to be telling you tips and tricks for how to properly use a beauty blender. Then we're going to go over how to properly clean and take care of it, and why I think the beauty blender is something that everybody needs to own. Now first, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on any more awesome videos like this. Second, I am not paid, sponsored, anything from Beauty Blender to tell you this. I just love this, and my friend Rianne invented it, and I think it is the most awesome invention ever. So when you apply makeup with a beauty blender, it gives you a flawless, airbrushed, and dewy makeup look. It doesn't look heavy or cakey, and it just looks like your skin was just airbrushed into perfection. The first thing that I learned on the movie set when I was apprenticing as a makeup artist was how to perfectly apply foundation with a sponge. You were not taught how to use with brushes because a sponge gives you a very flawless application because you're rolling and pressing it into the skin. So you're going to fill and cover all of the pores 360 degrees, as well as any kind of acne scars or any divots or indentations, because the face is multi-dimensional and a brush will just give you brush strokes. So the difference between this and many of the other knockoffs is that they're made of different formulations of sponge. Rianne, my friend, invented this over 10 years ago to help with high definition makeup. This is a proprietary and secret formulation that she has, and it is a hydrophilic sponge. It is totally latex free. All of the dyes in here are vegetable dyes. So many people have latex allergies. Latex absorbs the makeup and the oil. What this does, this hydrophilic sponge formulation, absorbs all of the water, and then the makeup just hovers on top. So this is going to save you makeup because your sponge isn't going to be soaking it up. And the special formulation of this sponge, which I don't know the secrets of, it's very different. And if you ever try a knockoff, you will definitely know the difference instantly. I've tried so many different other knockoff versions of the beauty blender, and none of them will give you a finish. None of them feel like this. This is very soft. It's very squishy and pliable, and it has a suede-like texture to it that many of the knockoffs don't have. They still feel like a harder latex sponge, and they don't give you that flawless application. So it's worth it to spend more money to get the flawless application that you're going to get with the beauty blender. And each one of these is handcrafted and hand shaped in the US. It's not from a production line. It's not mass produced sponges that the generic ones all have this certain shape. Now, the main thing that you want to remember about the beauty blender is you want to wet, bounce, and twist. You always want to use this wet. You never want to use it dry. And when you apply it, you want to bounce and twist and roll and press. That is going to give you the perfect, flawless application. Now, you can use this with everything. You can apply your moisturizer, your primer, your foundation. My favorite is to apply my powder and just give this flawless, dewy, yet powder set face look. Your bronzers, your blush, your highlighter, and especially the black one is a stain-resistant one, so you can apply flawless self-tanner with the black one. I want to show you guys how I use my beauty blender, how to wet it and apply your makeup, and then I'm going to go over how to properly clean it and take care of it and how long you can reuse this guy. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how you use the beauty blender. I just got this one fresh out of the packaging. You always want to use these wet. You never want to use them dry. They were designed to be used wet. So I'm going to show you how they're going to get so much bigger. We're going to take him, we're going to submerge him in our water, and get ready because he's going to be so much bigger. I like to give him a squeeze under the water so that he fills up with more water, all the little bubbles get full, and now you can see, look how much bigger he is. So you want to squeeze all of the water out. Then what I do is I take a paper towel and I will squeeze the excess water out also. Now he's ready to go. So it should be light and fluffy. You can see no water is going to be squeezed out. So what I'll do is I'll take a few pumps of my foundation. You want to push it into the skin. You're pushing and bouncing. So as you see when you're doing this, you can also push and roll. What this does is it pushes it into the pores 360 degrees, where a brush is just going to get one side really well. Even if you go back and forth, you're not fully going to get all 360 degrees of each little curve of the pore. If you have acne or any kind of scarring, it really fills in those areas really, really well. And a lot of times, if you're doing it on your own face or you're working on a client, they will say, oh my gosh, this feels like a facial treatment, because it really does feel like a massage. Now, I want to show you guys a step of how I even blend with the beauty blender. I'm going to do a little bit of contouring. If you guys haven't seen my contouring video, I will put a link for that below. I'm going to do that and show you how you can perfectly blend it all away with your beauty blender. Then you just take your damp beauty blender. I start with the highlighted areas first, and then I just blend the dark right on top. And then again, this gives you a perfect airbrushed and flawless look that you just would not be able to get with brushes. Now, my favorite part is using the Beauty Blender to actually apply my powder because it gives a very non-cakey, non-heavy look to your makeup. And again, you always want to use this wet, even when you're using a dry powder. So this is just a loose translucent powder, and I just load up my Beauty Blender like this. And then again, you just push and press it into the skin, and it gives you a light and beautiful, flawless finish. A lot of times if you're using a brush and you're kind of dusting the powder onto the face, you're actually sweeping or removing some of the foundation that you applied. So this gives you a very flawless look, and this will make your makeup last all day long because you're actually setting the makeup by pushing it into the pores. This is my favorite for under the eye area because it really helps prevent that creasing or caking, and it's really great for powdering your eyelids so that they're really dry and set before you put your eyeshadow. Now, you can also use your brush to apply your bronzer, or you can use the bottom, the larger, rounder side. You could use this for cream blushes, for bronzer, for whatever you want. So I'm just going to show you guys. You can just take this and you can apply your bronzer directly with just your sponge. And you will notice it gives you such a light and flawless. It's just like you're just blending and everything just automatically looks beautiful and blended without really doing anything, just because the bouncing helps spread it out. You could also take the pointed side and you could do the tip of the nose for shading, down along the side. You can do so many things with just the Beauty Blender that you don't even need brushes for. Now, if you have a powder highlighter, you can also use the pointed side, and you can just dab it right where you want to, because the pointed part is really going to give you accurate placement of the highlight, and it just gives this glow that your makeup just looks so dewy and not cakey and not heavy, which that's why I just love the Beauty Blender so much. Now I'm going to go finish putting the rest of my makeup on. See, and I just finished up my makeup look using the bottom of my Beauty Blender, and you can just apply it perfectly as a blush with just like the lightest dabby kind of glowy finish. Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple different ways to clean and care for your Beauty Blender, because that is very important. What Beauty Blender recommends is that these will last with daily use up to 3 months, and then you want to replace it. But what you want to do, and this is the lazy girls method, is you can take your Beauty Blender in some warm water and apply about a tablespoon of the cleanser into your little cup or goblet like I'm using. And then this is a very dirty Beauty Blender, but you just want to submerge it until it's fully wet and soaked. You can squeeze it a couple times so that it will fill with water. So just pick it up, squeeze it with water. You'll see it starts to get heavy and full of water. So just soak it overnight. You would rinse it a few times in the morning and then towel dry it. And that is the lazy method. Now, the next method for instant cleaning, you can also use the cleanser that comes with it. And you want to make sure if you use a different cleanser that it doesn't have any glycolic acid or salicylic acid. That will actually break down the specially formulated foam in this, and your Beauty Blender will start to fall apart. That's why I do recommend using the actual Beauty Blender cleanser or the little Beauty Blender bar that comes with it. That way you're making sure that there's no ingredients that are going to make your Beauty Blender fall apart before that it should. So the next method, we will go to the sink and I will show you how to use the solid cleanser and the Beauty Blender. Okay, so I have the bar solid cleanser here. We're going to use some warm water. You first want to get your Beauty Blender sponge wet. Then you want to kind of scrub it around onto the bar, and you will see the makeup will start to kind of come out onto the bar. I'm going to clean the bottom because I use that also. And then you just begin to squeeze it, and you will see all the makeup starting to come out. If it's extra dirty in any spots, just go back over and you can scrub it a little more with the cleanser. Work it into a little bit of a lather, and then you can just keep repeating, rinsing and squeezing. You want to squeeze out all the excess water, and then you can just take a towel and squeeze out even more water that's in there. Now to dry it, you can actually use the container that it came in. You can set it on its side like this so it will dry, or you can actually set it anywhere where it's an open air to dry. You don't want to put it in any closed containers. You never want to put the Beauty Blender back inside the container because it won't fully air dry and it could start growing bacteria inside. So if you haven't fallen in love with the Beauty Blender yet, I think you are going to now. I mean, I have these all over the place. I hope you guys love it. I hope you fall in love with the application that you get from using the Beauty Blender. And that's it. If you guys tag me or anything, or a photo or anything on Instagram, I always love to try to comment to you guys. Let me know if you have any other requests of videos that you guys would like to see, or show you guys how to use a tool or product or review something. Leave that down below. And then you can follow me all over on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. I'm at Kandee Johnson. Huge hugs from my house to yours, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have an awesome day. Bye!